Hi, I'm David Cross, and I'm running to become the next chairman of the Georgia GOP. I'm currently the second vice chairman, and my competitor in this race, Josh McKoon, has decided that he wants to weave a web of lies to make people who don't know me think that I actually don't support this guy. So you can ask his advisors, you can ask Joe Rossi, Garland Favorito, Kevin Moncla, Tiffany Savage, Laurie McLean, the current treasurer, whether or not I support this guy, and they're all going to tell you 1,000% yes. But the current chairman is going on a little dog and pony show right now, and he's trying to get people who don't know me to believe that I don't support President Trump. And he's saying David Cross didn't vote for a resolution that Josh put forth back in January of 2024 to the state committee. And that resolution was to endorse President Trump in January 2024, before the primary. Now, that's a key word or key phrase, before the primary. The rules of the Georgia GOP say that we are not to endorse any candidates before the primary. Even President Trump said, don't do it. Let this go through the entire process. I've got a True Social screenshot that'll pop up later in this video, but take a look at this video, understand what's going on, and please understand that, if you don't know me, my competitor is really convincing about weaving a web of lies to try and get you to believe something else. And then he puts those lies out to the public with his minions. I mean, basically people that just totally blindly support him. And this Georgia GOP needs better than that. We need better than blind support. We need cooperation. We need to build teams. We don't have a Trump Force 47 that's on the ground, but I'm going to be working to build one or build its clone. And I'm going to be using a lot of people, and I'm going to need a lot of talent from across the state to help me out with that. And I don't want you to get sold a bag of goods by my competitor saying that I don't support President Trump, because honestly, who has a life-size cutout of the president in their office if they don't support the president? So take a look at this video. Let me know what you think.
The election for a minute. So if you think about it, June 2023, we didn't know who the nominee was going to be. We went through that process. By the time we got to January of 2024, I think it was obvious probably to everybody in this room that the nominee was going to be Donald Trump. And so we had a state committee meeting down in St. Simon's Island, Georgia, and we brought forward a resolution for the state committee to come out and say, look, we need to put an end to the division here. We got to face the Democrats.
Here's where it says specifically in the rules of the Georgia GOP that we are not to endorse a candidate before the primary.
The state committee of the Georgia Republican Party is going to endorse Donald Trump. Now, unfortunately, that was not successful because we had people in our organization that were so committed to throwing sand in the gears. And
I wasn't committed to throwing sand in the gears. I was committed to following the rules. I mean, why do we have rules if we're not going to follow them? And also, you saw that screenshot of President Trump saying, don't do it. And Josh wanted to do it anyway. So what's going on?
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
They just reflexively opposed this effort to let's unify and get behind Donald Trump.
I spent a huge amount of time, effort, and money supporting President Trump. My own money. I even wrecked a car going down to the state election board to help support him. The information and the research that I provided was featured in President Trump's report on election fraud. And I worked with Garland Favorito. I worked with Kevin Moncla and Joe Rossi. And to think that anything that I did is not supportive of President Trump is just absolutely stupid.
Now, there was going to be a story. This was on a Saturday. There was going to be a story in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on Monday. About how we were, not together. There was this big rift. There's some people for Nikki Haley. There's some people for this person and that person.
So as Paul Harvey said, now you know the rest of the story. So you can either vote for the guy that's going to continue to fabricate things and bend the truth and tell you lies, or you can vote for the guy that is literally an Eagle Scout. I'm a fiduciary in my investment practice. My job is to take care of people. I want to fix this organization. So hopefully I can look forward to seeing you at the convention in Dalton, and hopefully I've got your vote. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I need volunteers all over the state to help win this thing. Thank you.
Here's where it says specifically in the rules of the Georgia GOP that we are not to endorse a candidate before the primary.